Hello everybody, it's me, Dregobob, back with the second installment of 3 disturbing YouTube channels. Now, by the time this episode is out, I should have released one of 3 videos relating to a spooky Splatoon alternate universe, the boiled one phenomenon, or even the I can't sleep analysis video I talked about in the last episode. Now, let's talk a bit about the 3 channels we'll be covering today. As per usual, I'll look at a couple vids per channel, lose sleep thanks to how terrifying they are, and as per usual, the most liked comment will be featured in the next video. To you at TrainShark5213, you will never get the full Voices of the Void video. Ever! Also, to you artistic types, be you musicians, 3D modelers, or artists, join my Discord server and share your art. At the end of today's video, I'll be showcasing art from some of my server's wonderful creators. And I'm also now hosting art competitions where you can win real cash prizes. Dr. Nowhere, Mintsyrup, and Boisvert. Each an enigma in their own right. Now, I do believe it's best to start with the least known, Mintsyrup. Not to outright confuse you, we'll be starting with Mintsyrup, then Dr. Nowhere, then Boisvert in that order. Now, let's begin. Mintsyrup. I was honestly taken aback by how much personality this channel oozed. It's rare I find channels that draw me in like this one. And from what I've watched and seen, these videos actually correspond to a visual novel. One that will be likely tragic, judging by its trailer and the 4 animations that came before it. So, depending on what you guys say in the comments, I may devote an entire video to Mintsyrup as a whole. Though, I'll also say I'll be breaking a couple rules with this. So, while I'm only meant to be looking at the videos to fully understand some of the situations and characters, I'll need to go to a site linked beneath each video. Ribbon Cutter, which was the whip name of the complete visual novel, I believe. Which, as of now, is called Hello Girl. Now, with that explanation on the explanations out of the way, one more thing. The music you'll be hearing in this section also belongs to the creator. It has a powerful, almost ethereal feel to it. Now, let's begin with Sunrosa Care Center, my favorite flower. After that, we'll be looking at Material Shrimpule data sheets and Mannequin. Mannequin. Whatever. My favorite flower begins with a look at Sunrosa Care Center. Dr. Ibis spends her days caring for a strange species known as shrimpules. Though, today she's looking at a new breakthrough she's made on a synthetic flower that can provide all the nutrition any man, woman, or child needs. My favorite flower is made of plastic, nylon, and printer ink. Strange, getting a better look at Dr. Ibis, they look tired. Worn down, not to mention stressed. That's driven home even further by when it's broken down how you can prepare my favorite flower, as we're shown Dr. Ibis crying multiple times.
Baked, tossed, crying, powdered, reclaimed, injected, absorbed, inhaled, crying, admired, maneuvered, retreated, educated, crying, encapsulated, wounded, imprisoned, crying.
As I said, Dr. Ibis is alone. It falls on them alone to look after the shrimpules and anything else that they're working on alone. It's understandable that a lack of contact with other people or recreation could drive them down a dark road, one that feels hopeless. And that's driven home even further in the second video. Material Shrimpule data sheet. It's here we're shown more of the interior of Sunrosa Care Center. And it's in a sorry state. Boxes, garbage, and upturned furniture scattered about. Shrimpules seemingly have free range of the place and move about as they please. Looking to the ribbon cutter page for Dr. Ibis, we can also find that she thinks of the shrimpules as her children too. And we aren't exactly given much info on why exactly Dr. Ibis is there. All alone, no less. Though, throughout the rest of this video, we're given fun facts on the shrimpules!
Shrimpules eat aluminum cans. It takes 3 hours for them to eat one. Shrimpul's saliva is purple. It smells like warm paper. Shrimpules love to sleep. They sleep for fun. Shrimpules cry often without explanation. It's funny and relatable. Remember to wear latex gloves when handling shrimpules. Further observations will be written here as time passes. I wish it was easier to get help. Thank you for listening. I love you.
Fun! Am I right? No? Well, I like shrimpules. Anyways, let's move on to the final video. Mannequin. Mannequin. Whatever. We open with the crane pulling a mannequin from a body of water. This mannequin, however, greatly resembles Dr. Ibis. Only they're clad in overalls instead of the lab attire we've grown accustomed to. Though, after this, we're introduced to another character, Mint S. Decat, who explores the ghostly town of Foamfield in search of someone she cares for. Living in a shipping container where she records daily video logs detailing her life and findings, though strange occurrences seem to follow her wherever she goes. We're told by Minty via vidlog that she'd been searching for this mannequin. We're told about all the damage it had sustained. Missing eyes, a missing arm, and a melted hand. While I could be reaching rather hard with this, we see Ibis's hand wounded in the first video. We also had a heavy emphasis on crying, though there wasn't anything I could compare to the missing arm. However, looking back at Dr. Ibis's profile, we're told that she has an affinity towards tinkering with any and anything, and is often seen working on strange machines and contraptions, which could mean something went wrong there. Moving on, we're told there's one thing Mint needs to find. Something, or someone, I should say. After this, we're shown Mint breaking and entering into what could be Sun Rosa, though the strange statue and distinct difference in architecture and building shape and interior leads me to think that they're in a hospital. The hospital where Dr. Ibis passed away. I can't say for certain if this is true or if I'm reaching too far again, but after some wandering, Mint is drawn to one more room. Mint enters, where she draws a weapon, only to discover Dr. Ibis in the flesh, or not. As she looks to Mint a final time before fading away.
She's really gone.
Mint laments that she's really gone and soon after casts the mannequin into the lake from where it came. As it said, Mint spends her days searching for the one she loves. Unfortunately for her, this search comes to a saddening end. They see Ibis one last time before their soul moves on. And it's here I understand that the mannequin may very well be a vessel for Ibis's soul. And with no further use for it, Mint discards it. It's heartbreaking knowing that a whole part of Mint's character was devoted to finding Ibis. I'm more than sure we'll discover more about their relationship in the full visual novel, but for now, that's a book we'll be closing. Now to move on to something more traditionally scary. So give it up for Dr. Nowhere. Now, if you watched my last video, then I'm sure you're more than familiar with Dr. Nowhere and all of his horrific creations. While his channel very much deserves an entire video to itself, we'll be looking at the two odd ones out before going over the Toe series. Like everyone I feature here, they have a certain gusto, zest, or sauce, as the cool kids say. Dr. Nowhere is terrifying. His creature designs leave nothing more to be desired than them not appearing to you in your dreams. and their concepts and abilities are equally disturbing and horrifying. From a boiled angel who can paralyze you and eat your spine, to a being that can break the glass on your TV screen to enter through the new gateway they've created, Dr. Nowhere is brilliant. And that brings me to the two videos we'll be looking at today. The boy in his bath, and Has This Ever Happened to You? All the Lights. These are the only two videos that I don't think are connected to the others in any way. So, without further ado, let's begin with the shorter of the two. All of the Lights. We open with a commercial that feels very similar to these old ones I would get relating to health or car insurance as a kid. However, this feels more like a story, the main character being the person we see in various places around the house, grabbing things, looking around, and getting ready for bed. The difference between real life and this video is that there is something waiting there for our character.
Well, worry not. We have a brilliant solution. There is nothing that follows you after you turn off all the lights in the house. All the lights in the house. You turn off all the lights in the house. That follows you after you turn off all the lights in the house.
Now, as you just saw, there is something inhabiting this video/VHS tape. Just like the boiled one, it's likely this is another television/broadcast related monster looking for a way to get into your home and attack you. As I see it, the appearance of this thing is the veil breaking, and its true form being revealed. Its own hunger causing the rest of the recording to bug out and go, for lack of a better term, insane. And now for the main course of this part of the video. The meat and potatoes, if you will. Your body remains unclean from the toils of yesterday. A ceiling fan above him before they realize that they are in no shape to sleep. A shower will make you better. After glancing at the clock, they turn to view an empty crib. From the title, we can already understand what's happened. Another thing to note is the ambience of this video. Ambience that we quickly realize is no ambience at all. It's the sound of a running bath. But it wasn't my fault, they say. And as they open the door, they are confronted by the aftermath of their terrible mistake.
Why did you leave me here? I never existed to you.
And as they rush back to their room, it's silent. Dead silent. And for a final time, they are confronted.
I know you heard me. It was all your fault.
If you didn't understand, this video's story follows a parent, a single mother or father committing a grave mistake. As we can infer from the quote at the beginning of the video, they had a very long and arduous day that left them tired. Knowing they couldn't leave their little one in their own filth, they do what any parent would do and give them a bath. However, they return to their room, water running, child in bath, and fall asleep. Minutes, maybe hours pass and they awake. Half asleep, they glance at the clock. Seeing the time, they glance at the crib, the place where their child should be fast asleep. Only, they aren't there. The white noise was the bath. Still running, they realize their error and in a panic rush to the bathroom only to discover what happened. What their mistake did. The bone-white, disfigured thing that confronts them could be their child. They're so angry with their parents. However, I subscribe to the theory that it's a manifestation of their own guilt. Perhaps this entire sequence is a terrible nightmare that this punished parent is having from within the comfort of their own bed or a jail cell. Either way, they'll be forced to live on with their mistake. Every night, they may have the same dream, the same nightmare, with them waking up much too late. And in their child's place is this manifestation of guilt, there to mock them, to crush their soul. Then again, this could be an entity. Dr. Nowhere's creations are shown to function in strange ways. This one could pose as the dead loved ones of its targets, slowly breaking them down to the point of insanity before feeding. Or maybe it just takes some sick pleasure in holding things like this over someone's head. And whether or not the parent did this on accident or purposefully, they will live with the consequences of it for the rest of their days. And that concludes this video section on Dr. Nowhere. And with that out of the way, let's move on to our final exhibit. A channel that's more esoteric in nature, yet terrifying all the same. I welcome you to the final stretch of this video, Boisvert. Boisvert is a very, very interesting channel. All of his works are so incredibly strange and abstract, from the way they combine their rough-styled animation with the rotoscoping, along with their monotone black and white color scheme that they use with everything, makes each video feel strange and almost feverish. And I'm also more than sure that some or most of you are at least familiar with Boisvert's work. Considering the view count on some of his videos, in fact, I think his works have been shown on a couple memes that have made quite the splash back when they came out, which I don't actually know I made that point. The two videos we'll be looking over are, to me, likely integral to the story. Those videos being Take Care and Burning. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Take Care. This video begins with a crude drawing of a horned little guy in the corner. Above the drawing being text saying, "These are troubling times, friend." The drawing also shifts to a number of slightly different variations, giving it an almost stop-motion-y feel. In the background, too, is harsh piano music that both feels off and at the same time comforting in a strange way. The text I mentioned before also encompasses the entire video, with that painting the picture of what the horn guy goes through each day. Which, I'll read out now. These are troubling times, my friend. During such tribulation, let us focus on the small victories. Waking up at a reasonable hour. Exercising consistently. Ignoring the noises downstairs. Staying productive. Ignoring the noises downstairs. Be wearing earphones at that point in the video. Though, we get some important and rather telling information imparted onto us by this strange new dark horned character who is hidden downstairs. It asks the character how long it had been since they had gone outside, since they had seen their friends. And coupled with all the other information within the video, we can infer that the main character is a shut-in / incel. Wait, no, I meant to say introvert. Introvert. The main character is an introvert, one that seems to be at the very least an extreme case. Couple that with what might be high stress and social anxiety, and you have a very dangerous recipe. There's also the chance that our character could be suffering from a mental illness as well, making their plight even worse. And I also forgot to mention that this dark figure may also be haunting the main character, as shown by their appearance at the beginning, with the being seemingly shocking the MC awake. There's much more to the story, and we have one more video to go. We open with our main character once again, only they now appear much worse off. Their head is hung low, they're stressed, their face cloaked in shadow, allowing us to see their features in a much more harsher manner. On top of this, the art style has grown much grittier and complex. Whether it's due to the artist's skill growing or the change reflecting the decrease in our MC's mental state isn't clear. Though, either way, they are much worse off than they were before. And once again, we're met with more text, which this time is written in cursive. It has been a year now. The cycle continues. Wake up. Watch them. Why are you in the basement? Do something. Anything.
You're so kind. You part gaming as you bring your still in the basement, breathed in flames.
And once more, we're met with the dark figure, who I now believe is a manifestation or representation of our character's dark side. Self-doubt or stress, all boiling over, leaving them with an angry, loathsome shell of their true self, who's only become more stressed since the last video. And if the words we read are true, they've been stuck in that same cycle for the entire year. And that very routine has only deteriorated more and more, so much that they wake up stressed, simply stare at the outside world longingly from their basement, and hardly do anything productive. As someone who's in that funk for a small part of their own life, I have to say there's nothing more torturous than feeling trapped, useless, and like dead weight. It's a truly horrid thing, and I think that's exactly what our character is going through. As I said before, this other side of the main character is their own self-loathing, flowing free, where they can take all of that malice and put it back into themselves. Which I don't think I have to say isn't healthy. I believe this is where I'll be putting a bookmark on this topic. Just like the other incredibly interesting topics that I said I'd take an extended look at, you can expect to see a full video on Boisvert in the very, very near future. Now, I'd like to thank all my supporters who've hit that join button, and those of you who support me on Patreon. Another group of people I'd like to thank are the artists here, who you can see here right now. To the right will also be the winner of my art competition, who won a whopping $3, which will also be increasing in size as time goes on. Just wait, one day the grand prize will be upwards of 50 buckaroonies. Now, to you talented folks who want their art, music, or even 3D art displayed here, join the Discord server. I'm sure at some point you'll be featured here just like all of these amazing artists. Plus, you'll also have a chance at getting commissioned by yours truly for thumbnail art or maybe even collaboration on a video. As per usual, I'm Dregobob, hoping you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Bye-bye! Oh, I'm a horned figure guy. Look at me, I'm so tortured and stressed out. Oh, well here's a solution, says evil horned dude. Why don't you go outside and touch grass? Boom! I love making these.